Hey kids, Mrs. Lowe here. We are continuing making some videos to help you go over the Unit 1, Part 1 Rational Numbers test. And this is problem number 6A and B. This is a very commonly missed problem. Most of it just because of the way we're interpreting it. So A says 20% of a number is 32. Well, that's the same thing as saying 20% of means multiply. A number we will define as x is 32. Now whenever you introduce a variable, you need to have a let statement. So I'm going to let x equal the number. Now whenever you deal with percentages, you need to change them to decimals. So this is 0.2. So we have 0.2x equals 32. In order to solve for x, I have to divide both sides by 0.2. I'm dividing by 0.2. And then I'll have 1, x, so x is by itself, 32 divided by 0.2. Now the problem is dividing by 0.2. So you're doing 32, which is being divided by 0.2. So you're dividing a decimal into an integer. So first thing you're going to do is move the decimal one place to the right, right there. You're going to move this decimal one place to the right, and you're going to add a 0. And that decimal will go up there. So now I'm doing long division. 2 goes into 3 one time. 1 times 2 is 2, and then I subtract that and I get 1. Then I bring down the next number I see, which is 12. 2 goes into 12 6 times. 6 times 2 is 12. I get a number 0. I bring down the 0. 2 cannot go into 0, so that is 0. Now I needed to put a 0 there because I had 1 6 space decimal. So I needed to finish it off. So the final answer is 160. 20% of 160 is a number. Now let's use one of the previous video strategies to check our answer. So remember, we're saying what's 20% of 160? This is our check. Well, that's 10% of 160. That's 16 because you move the decimal one place to the left. And another 10% of 160 is also 16, and when you add them up, you get 32, and that's exactly what we get here. So it works out. All right. Let's do the next one. 125% of a number is x. Now remember, we're not going to use percentages. We're going to use decimal. So instead of 125%, we're going to write 1.25. I just skipped that first step of writing it as a percent. You move the decimal 2 places to the left to make it a decimal. Of means times. A number is x. Is equals 50. Now in order to isolate the variable, we divide both sides by 1.25. This is equal to 1, so the x is now isolated. Now I get to do long division. So I'm doing 50 is being divided by 1.25. Now I need to move this decimal 2 places to the right. So it goes here, which means I need to move it 2 places to the right here and add 2 zeros. So basically I'm doing 125 into 125 into 5,000. So you're going to now figure out how many times does 125 go into 5,000. But you got to start with 500. So you got to think, what's 2 times 125? That would be 250. What's 3 times 125? What's 4 times 125? And see which number goes into it, as many as possible without going over. So 500 is divisible by 125 4 times. I'm going to multiply that and it gets 500. Subtract 0. Now I still need another 0 because my decimal is here. I need a placeholder, so 40. So 125% of 40 is 50. Now let's check that just using some mental math common sense. So 125% of 40, that's the same thing as saying 100% of 40, which is 40. And then 25% of 40, well, you can think 20, 25, or you could just think, what's a fourth? A fourth of 40. A fourth. Divide that by 4, and you get a fourth. That's 10. Or you could break it down like the previous one, and that's 50, which is what we got here. Hope this helps you guys.